Well, hello there, Internet, and welcome to the second week's episode of our Top 5 going on right here in my channel right now. So for this week, we're going to be looking at the top 5 Eeveelutions. Now keep in mind there are only 8 in total, so this is actually all but 3 of them put in order, but I'm putting them in order of which are the strongest and the weakest. Keep in mind that these are all my opinions. I forgot to say that last time, and I got a bunch of flack for that. But these are all my opinions, and you guys have absolutely no reason to agree with anything I say. This is just what I've come up with after playing Pokemon for several years now, and this is just my list. So anyway, we are going to start by kicking it off at number 5, taking it home. It's Jolteon. So Jolteon can learn the abilities Volt Absorb and Quick Feet. I'm not mean learn, but it'll start out with either Volt Absorb or Quick Feet. So Quick Feet boosts your speed when you are under stats conditions, and Volt Absorb takes electro type moves and boosts your own. So Jolteon has an amazing 130 base speed and a pretty good special attack coming at 110. It has a good moveset, learning moves such as Thunderbolt and Thunder, as well as other moves such as Shockwave. I'm not sure if that's right. And it's that paralyzing move Pikachu learns really early on. But unfortunately, it also has a low attack stat, which means you cannot use moves like Thunder Fang or Thunder Punch, because even though he doesn't learn Thunder Punch, it would just fail quite miserably. It's also very squishy. It has only a 95 in special defense. It has 65 HP and 60 defense, which is not much better, excuse me. The 95 special defense is much better, but the HP and defense really it gets absolutely destroyed by a single bulldoze, or any ground type move can one-hit KO Jolteon, which is why I have put him so high up on this list. So anyway, coming in at number 4, we have Espeon. So Espeon's abilities are Magic Bounce and Synchronize, which you should probably know what they are. Magic Bounce causes status conditions to bounce back, and Synchronize is Synchronize. Anyway, it has a very good special attack and speed. They're quite high. And it has an access to a very large psychic moveset with moves like Psybeam, Psy-Wave, Psychic, Future Sight, Calm Mind. And it also has pretty good coverage with Dazzling Gleam to deal with dark types, and it will deal 1 times damage to ghost types, so as long as this has a bit of Calm Mind set up, it can deal with ghost types. And for bug types, it can also usually run some sort of fire type or flying type move, which I'm not made sure, but I'm pretty sure, because I taught my Espeon Flamethrower back when I was playing Generation 4 a while back. But unfortunately, like Jolteon, Espeon is very squishy Pokemon with the same stats, around with a 95, 60, 65, etc., and it also is another psychic type. Now, this might not seem very bad, but while you could have an Espeon, you might as well also use an Alakazam, or a Musharna, or Gothitelle. Any sort of other psychic type works just as well as Espeon, which is why it is number 4. However, it does have a lot more coverage than Jolteon, as Jolteon cannot learn any water, grass, or any sort of moves to combat ground. Anyway, taking on the bronze medal, it is Vaporeon, with the abilities either Hydration or Water Absorb, both which affect water type moves. So Vaporeon has a much better spread of stats. It actually has a plus 100 in the defenses, but it also has various things. So Vaporeon has exactly 2 weaknesses: electric and grass. But Vaporeon can very easily learn Ice Beam or Blizzard or some sort of Ice type move to simply take it out. I'm pretty sure Blizzard isn't that. That was just a spur of the moment. But it can learn Ice Beam to deal with those pesky grass types, and for electric types, while it can't exactly learn a ground type move that doesn't have insanely low damage, like spikes, it can still use a lot of other type moves, like Ice Beam. It can also learn things like Double Team and Surf. So it has a very large move pool. There are a lot of water type moves, such as Scald, which will also deal very nice damage and can burn. To Waterfall, Surf, Ice Beam. There are so many moves that a Vaporeon can learn that will make it run very well. And it can also be ran as a healing anti-water type due to Water Absorb. However, unfortunately, even though Vaporeon is pretty good, it is weak in defense. And it has stats in defense which are 60 and 65, the same as our previous candidates. And Vaporeon, again, just like Sylveon, is a plain water type, which means that it can be replaced by a lot of other Pokemon, such as a Feraligatr, which has moves to things like which has access to the elemental bites and crunch, or it could be replaced with something such as a Blastoise or any sort of water starter Pokemon, which there are at least 6 of. So, anyway, Vaporeon is a pretty good Pokemon with a really good amount of coverage and a large move pool, which I'm just repeating everything that's on the screen, take no mind of that. But it also is one that has a lot of nostalgia for me, as Vaporeon was the Pokemon that I used in my original run of Fire Ring, which was the first Pokemon game I ever played. And that really, really appeals to me. But anyway, taking home the silver medal, we probably just saw number 1 on the screen right there. It is Umbreon, and for some reason, I'm suddenly aware that there's green on the side here. That is kind of weird. But anyway, Umbreon can learn Synchronize or Inner Focus. It has very good special defense and a pretty good HP at 95. It also has a quite good moveset, which includes Taunt, Spikes, and it can also run moves such as Nasty Plot and Dark Pulse. But the problem is that its low attack stats really force it into a utility role with moves such as Baton Pass, because it just is not extremely good at offense, because with a stat of 60 and 65, you're not going anywhere with it. So Umbreon is one of the starter Pokemon in Pokemon Coliseum, or was it XD? I'm pretty sure it's Coliseum though. And yeah, it is a really good Pokemon. It can run a lot of healing moves too, such as I'm pretty sure it can run Wish and so forth, and also Resto with a Chesto Berry, Mr. Chesto. Also, it has a really, really large moveset, as I just explained. But it's really hampered by its bad attack stats, which every Eevee has 3 stats that are in 60 and 65 onwards and on forth. So you already guessed what number 1 is, and yes, it is Sylveon, with the abilities Pixelate and Cute Charm. But who is going to want a Cute Charm Sylveon? It's going to always be a Pixelate one. So Sylveon has amazing stats and a good speed, but great coverage, as it can learn moves like Psybeam and Psywave to run against Pokemon with Poison type, and versus Steel type, it can also use some sort of fire moves. It had one that ran Flamethrower. I got it through Wonder Trade, and it was actually really, really good. It can also run a lot of normal type moves, as for those of you who don't know, Pixelate turns normal type moves into fairy type moves, and this means it moves like Hyper Voice, and so it can gain Stab from them. So some moves such as Hyper Voice, Double Edge, things like that. Not Double Edge, Sylveon cannot learn Double Edge, but they all become Fairy types and thus do 1.5 times damage. Unfortunately, with Pixelate, it's only 1.3 times because. But it is a Fairy type, which means again it only has 2 weaknesses, which are Steel and Poison, but it is very good against. It is perfectly great, and it takes down Fighting, Dark. It's resistant to Bug. It takes no damage from Dragons because the metagame had to be fixed. And it has really, really just good overall. Sylveon is the latest evolution I used during my playthrough of Pokemon X on stream. If you didn't catch that, that was actually pretty good. But I played through it and I used a Sylveon and it was amazing. It had a really, really, really nice name too. I can't remember it off the top of my head, but I will post it in the comments if I can remember. The one thing I have to say about Sylveon that is bad is that it has weak defenses. As I said earlier, all Eeveelutions have at least a 60 and a 65 in one of their stats, and for Sylveon it is in the defensive stats. However, when you're pretty much doing at least half the opponent's damage in every hit, you're not really going to worry about your defense, because even with one turn they take to set up an entry hazard, you can kill them by that point. So that's my list, and thank you for watching. So yeah, Sylveon is definitely very good. Anyway, all the pictures taken and used here were taken off of the Prezi image search box, so I'm not going to claim that I own any of these images. They're all properties of their respective owners, and I'm pretty sure that one of them at least came from DeviantArt. I will link the images, all 5 of them, in the description. Anyway, that was the top 5 Eeveelutions. Thank you for watching, and have a good day or night, because it's night here, but it could be day where you're watching this. Anyway, this list may change by the time 7th generation is released. There's new Eeveelutions, etc., etc., but at this point in time, which is in 2015, Sylveon is currently the best Eeveelution in pretty much everybody's eyes.